Hi there, it's me, Annalisa Boyd, Orthodox Christian wife, mom to 10, bread baker, candy maker, self-proclaimed doula, accidental midwife, and the author of The Ascetic Lives of Mothers. Hear me, Special Agents of Christ, and creator of saintsbox.com. So today, I'm always sick when I'm trying to make these videos. Today, as you can see in the title, it says I'm guilty, and it's true. I am guilty. I don't know about you, or if you've had this experience when you're trying to pay attention during the liturgy and you're inundated with all these thoughts about, ways that you have failed God, or sins you've committed throughout your life, even the ones that have been repented of, even the ones that have been confessed, that they still come to mind. They're things that maybe we haven't been able to let go of ourselves. And for me, it tends to have a lot to do with my parenting, all the different ways that I failed as a parent, especially earlier on, because I have always loved my kids, but there's a lot of fear-based parenting early on in my parenting adventure. And so there are a lot of ways, so many ways, that I totally missed the mark with parenting and parenting well, and being able to nurture my children with what was in my heart for them. And a lot of time was spent on correcting and missed out a lot. I think I've mentioned all this before. Missed out on a lot of praising them for their efforts, praising them for their successes, and even acknowledging how difficult it is to do the right thing. And being in the world at that time, a lot of focus in the Christian world was on our rebelliousness and the rebellious hearts of our children and all that. So there's all this fear that you're going to fail God, you're failing your kids, and everybody's going to go to hell. And, so all of that was going on. And then the homeschool movement at that time was very much about how our children can absolutely be mature. There was a president, I can't remember which one, who had been the captain of a ship when he was 12. So there's no reason. I mean, just all this ridiculous stuff, all this very legalistic, ridiculous stuff. And so I have a lot of guilt. And it's definitely one of those things that you don't know what you don't know until you know that you didn't know. And then you can do something about it. But when you're doing your best and you don't know that it's not a great thing, that's hard. That's hard to reconcile later on. So I'm sitting in church, or standing in church. We don't sit in church. I'm standing in church, and this guilt comes to mind. And a lot of times what I do is I'm totally distracted by what's going on in my head, and I'm totally missing out on the liturgy, because I'm either quoting scripture to myself, or I'm saying, no, I've confessed that, God forgive, but I'm taking charge of what is going on in my brain and becoming distracted by my own self with my own thoughts. So this particular Sunday, it was all starting up again, and I kind of paused and thought, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. All these things, it's true. There was a lot I didn't understand. I am guilty of yelling. I am guilty of maybe not following the best counsel early on in my parenting. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of all these things. It's true. I'm guilty. But we don't stop there, because if we stop there, then we go to despondency. I'm guilty, and why would God want me? And then we go into this spiral of, I've done all these things that have, let God down, as if he wasn't aware of everything that all of my life experiences up to that point, as if he wasn't aware of my desire to parent well and all of that. I am guilty. But, actually it wasn't a but. I said, I am guilty. Lord, save me. Lord, save me. It reminded me of the publican and the Pharisee. The publican knew he was guilty. The publican knew that, see, the publican knew what a wretch he was. And yet, he came and asked for God's mercy. And then I thought of St. Peter. He had the faith. When Jesus was walking on water, I wouldn't have had this faith. And you notice, none of the other apostles got out of that boat. But Peter had the faith to get out of that boat and walk on water. And then his thoughts turned inward and he started sinking. A lot of times what we end up doing is we just sink. We just keep sinking. And that's when we find ourselves in despair and despondent. It's because we just sink. But what St. Peter, what the publican, what so many other people, every single person who cried out to Jesus, they did it with hope that he would do something. Maybe not. But they had hope that maybe he would. And so Peter says, Lord, save me. And he does. There's the father with the son who was sick, who asked Jesus to heal his son. And Jesus asked him if he believed. And he said, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. So he knew maybe I don't believe like 150% there, but I believe as far as I am able that this is a possibility that you could heal my son. We believe that we can be saved, or we need to believe that we can be saved. That is faith. That is that hope in the resurrection in the world to come. I am guilty. Lord, save me. I'm guilty of so many things. I've been, there were the 55 maxims of, I'm looking over there as if you can see where I'm looking, of the 55 maxims from Father Thomas Hopko. And one of the things that he had said on there was to have a prayer that you say. Sorry. Have a prayer that you say throughout the day. And I love the Jesus prayer, but I also felt very thankful that he just said, have a prayer, because depending on what's going on in life, there are many prayers of the church that are very helpful, or many prayers of the heart that we can have that speak to where we are at any given moment. And so for me right now, it is, I am guilty. Lord, save me. So as those thoughts come and try to bombard me throughout the day, I am working to remember to say, it kind of stops the traffic, learning to say, I am guilty. I'm guilty. Lord, save me. Sometimes I'll add, I am guilty of judging my husband. Lord, save me. I am guilty of overreacting to my child, who is being very age appropriate, which is sometimes really hard. Lord, save me. I am guilty of eating too much. Lord, save me. I am guilty. And I mean, I don't always put the thing, because a lot of times it's stuff from the past, things that have been confessed. I'm still guilty of those things, even though I've been forgiven. I did do those things, or I did keep from doing things that I should have done, Or, there's so many things. But I am guilty. The thief on the cross was guilty. He said, we are guilty. We have done these things. That we're here for a reason. He's not. And he asked Jesus to save him. So even in that desperate moment, he knew he was guilty and asked to be saved. So if all of those people can do that, and Jesus didn't get mad at them, I think a lot of us are afraid of either God being mad at us, or we're afraid that we're failing him in some way, as if we're supposed to have more strength, greater than human strength. And not even that strength that God gives us, but I know for me it was more like I'll let you know when I need you, Lord. Instead of, I need you all the time. So even if I'm feeling strong, still need you. Don't want to do any of this on my own. Definitely don't want to do that. But I missed out a lot, because when I was growing up, there was a lot, and I know this was true for my mom too, there was a lot of responsibility, at least emotional responsibility, to take care of big important things that needed to be taken care of, or to be strong for other people who weren't able to be strong, to hold things together for people who weren't able to hold things together. I know for my mom, there's medical stuff with her parents, and she had to be on so much. In my childhood, there were a lot of things I had to be on for. And as a parent, there are a lot of things that I've had to be on for with some of our kiddos with bonus features. And then realizing, that I can't possibly hold everything. But feeling like that was my responsibility that God gave me. He didn't give me the responsibility to do any of that solo. It was all with him. Yeah. Anyway, that was just a thought that came to my mind just now. So, as we are finishing up our Lenten journey, I don't know how everybody else's Lent has gone, but for many, Lent tends to Lent really hard, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And even if it was really hard and really discouraging, there is hope. And we can still say, Lord, save me. I am guilty. Lord, save me. I am guilty. Lord, save me. And have hope that he will. All right. Well, there you go. I talked a lot more than I thought I was going to. Could have probably summed that up in like 2 minutes, but thanks for bearing with me. And through all the coughing, I hope you all are all well, and may God give you strength as we enter Holy Week and approach that blessed, blessed day of resurrection of Pascha. God bless, and let's keep working at our salvation one mama moment at a time. Thanks.